All right, so next up, we want to talk a little bit about specs and skills. So the Demon Hunter obviously is going to have specs like other classes will. And those specs that we're going to be talking about are Havoc and Vengeance. Havoc is the DPS spec, Vengeance being a tanking spec. So for the Demon Hunters, we're actually going to be doing 2 specs. The reason for that is as we thought about Demon Hunters and what they might be and what the fantasy of a Demon Hunter is, clearly DPS comes to mind. I mean, we would be remiss if we didn't include DPS. So that's kind of an automatic. We also thought it'd be really cool because metamorphosis is a big part of being a Demon Hunter, and we have these awesome metamorphosized forms that'd be great to be a tank. That could be a really fun experience that makes sense with being a Demon Hunter also. Demon Hunter Healer though, not so much. A little bit weird for us, so we felt like that was kind of out of the picture. So at that point, the question becomes, do we do 2 Demon Hunter DPS specs, or do we do 2 tanking specs? And as we really started to flesh out what the ideas for those specs might be, we felt like it was just kind of watering down the identity of the class. So instead, we wanted to concentrate the coolness and really focus on 1 melee spec, 1 DPS, and 1 tanking spec. So we feel like that's really the right thing for the Demon Hunter to make them both awesome. So here's a couple of different abilities that are unique to Demon Hunters, of course. The first one we have here is Fell Rush, where you can rush forward, dealing a bunch of damage to anybody in your path. Generates Fury, also Demonic Fury. That's your resource. As you use some abilities, they build up Demonic Fury, and other abilities cost Demonic Fury. Fell Rush also has an interesting characteristic of having multiple charges, so you can charge multiple times in battle. We have Chaos Strike, which is pretty basic Demonic Fury spender to do a bunch of damage, everybody in front of you. Chaos Nova, that does area effect damage and also stuns people in a radius on a cooldown. You can also use a ranged ability called Eye Beam. Use those cool little eyewear that you have to focus those beams, zap a bunch of enemies at range. Spectrosight, that's something that's very unique to Demon Hunters and really kind of a defining trait of Demon Hunters. The ability there is when you turn on Spectrosight, and that's kind of part of why you pulled your eyes out to be a Demon Hunter, is that it gives you the ability to see through walls. So you can see your enemies through the walls. Come in really handy in a lot of battlegrounds. In addition, Vengeful Retreat, another movement ability that helps keep Demon Hunters really mobile. But of course, if a Demon Hunter is going to retreat, he's going to do it vengefully. So first, we've got a couple little videos to show you what some of these abilities look like. The first one you're going to see is Fell Rush, just a very simple kind of dash forward. So let's look at that. There you go. Used multiple times in succession, right away, boom, boom. Wants to travel, wants to go through and deal damage. Next up, we have the Eye Beam ability, give you a little sense of what that looks like. Zap. And then finally, we have an ability that's also unique to Demon Hunters to talk about that I haven't mentioned yet. That ability is something that we call Double Jump. So as a Demon Hunter, you're actually going to be able to jump, and then as you're in the air, jump again. Because you're more agile, you're quicker than other races or classes, and it's really cool and handy to be able to get over obstacles that no other class can actually get over. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Oh yeah, double jump. So next up, we have a little video that has a couple of these different combat abilities mixed together to give you a little bit more of a sense of what Demon Hunter combat looks and feels like. Good times.